Hi, Whiz. How
Hey.
are you? Thanks for accepting me. Let me just take these filters off. Oh, there you are. Oh, thanks for accepting this invitation. I mean, this is
Of
just so
course.
cool. Thanks so much. I can see
Yeah.
your toys there. Oh, this
Yeah,
is
he's
cool.
he's here.
Hi, everyone who's joining. Hi, little one. Okay, so we have today Whiz Bang and incredible artist. Cats,
Thanks.
but not only cats. Wisban paints amazing faces, and I mean, it's incredible what you do. So
Thank you.
we're gonna talk about you today. And okay, tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Uh, I'm Whiz Bang Meow, and I paint cats mostly. I've been painting cats almost exclusively for. This will be the fourth year that I've done almost cats exclusively. He's trying to get treats. He's been bribed. He's not here because he loves me.
I know, I know.
Um, but uh, but yeah, I've been painting cats for 4 years as part of something that I call Project Catterday, and that started as a way to bring positivity back to the internet. It all kind of like is inspired by a point in my life where I was really struggling with depression and anxiety, and someone who is still a stranger to me, but one of my followers at the time, she reached out to me and gave me a very kind message. And so, as a way to thank her, I just went to her Instagram account and I saw that she had a cat, and so I was like, I want to thank her for being so kind to me. And I did this like quick little portrait of her cat and I posted it the next day, and that's kind of what really kicked off Project Catterday for me. And so for the first year, it was exclusively just random, just followers or just cat pictures I would stumble upon. And I was just like, I want to surprise this person. So it was all about just bringing random bits of like happiness to people's days that they weren't expecting. And so that's really where it started. And I didn't expect to continue to do it after that first year. And I kept kind of thinking like, this will be the last year probably. But here I am, end of year 4, kind of thinking the same thing where I'm like, I'm not sure if I'll do it another year, but I've really met a lot of great people from painting cats. And so I imagine it is something that I will always
I
continue
hope
to do.
so. I really hope so because you do a wonderful job. I mean, it's just being there and looking at you live painting is just
Oh,
incredible.
thank
I
you.
hope you do. Okay, okay. You have been doing art since 4 years approximately. How do you define your art style?
Ratchet. So just unpolished, but kind of being okay with that. I think I kind of came up thinking that my art needed to uh, fit inside of this box, and it needed to be like very polished, and it needed to be hyper realistic in order to be good. And so, what I've learned over the past decade is just learning how to accept and own the type of art that I like to do, and just be okay with it, and just sort of really own that title,
That's very
very
important.
proudly,
That's
so yeah, I just ratchet, just unpolished and just okay with it.
it's perfect. It's just unique. Okay.
Thanks.
And your art first impressions. What did people feel when they saw your art and what you were doing about, because sometimes cat painters are like limited uh, to all public is sometimes it's just like white cats. So in your art, what do you think were your first art impressions?
uh I don't really know um what people's first impressions are typically. I do hear that people do find it very expressive, and
It
find
is
it
expressive.
still sort of like lifelike at the same time. So I guess, you know, I would kind of interpret that as, you know, the ability to sort of walk this fine line of being abstract to some degree and very expressive, but still capturing that real life quality without really, you know, getting into the details and into the weeds and stuff.
It's exceptional, yes. Okay, how do you feel when you're creating, when you're painting? How do you feel?
Well, you know, so sometimes I can be pretty chill with it, but a lot of times it's a kind of a battle. And if for anyone who's ever like joined the live streams and watched me paint live, you know, there's a sometimes a period of time where they don't realize it, but like inside my head, I'm just thinking the whole time, like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't think I can do this painting. And it's like that for a good 2 or 3 hours. And there is just like that inner saboteur in my head the whole time, you know, that's telling me like, you suck, you can't do this, you're going to bomb this drawing. Not that I have never bombed a drawing before on the live stream or at a public painting event. Definitely done that before. And so that doesn't help, right? Because it's like, you know, remember that one time you did.
Exactly. Like
so yeah, so
it
kind of sucks because, yeah, because, you know, that whole time I can be, you know, in that mindset. And so it's kind of like I'm fighting that the whole time.
It's just
sometimes.
like I feel right now, more or less.
Right. You're doing a great job. But yeah, so a lot of times I'm fighting that voice in my head. But you know, a lot of the reason why I also started Project Catterday was because after not to turn things political, but after the 2016 election, like I just really I had some back-to-back fainting spells, and so I was obviously having a hard time managing anxiety levels. And so when I'm having a really good drawing day, like it's really nice to be able to just sort of put these blinders on and focus. And the only thing I have to think about is that cat's face and translating it onto this canvas, you know, and that's the only thing I have to think about for like 4 or 5 hours. And so it's nice when it's going great, you know, but yeah, if it's not, then it's like the you suck,
yeah,
you know,
those voices, yeah, always negative messages. It's just like,
yep. So
I can relate to that.
It goes both ways.
Yep. And what would you change about the art world?
Well, I think that the art world is really it's really tricky to be an artist right now. I think that the commercialization, I feel like that is a word, if it's not established today. I feel like that that element of art has it's open doors, but it's also closed doors too, you know. So it thanks Michelle. So
Imposter syndrome, yeah, that's
yeah. But you
Definitely.
know, I think that it's also it's kind of created an environment where I think your customer base or your audience, they can kind of not realize where the value of the art is. They kind of see it as like the thing that they're able to hold and take and touch and put on their wall. That's what they value, right? And so they don't maybe understand that, like, you know, the reason why this costs X much, you know, money or whatnot is because I put this much time and this much effort and this energy into this, you know. So that's really where the value is, you know, for us, and we understand that. And so it's kind of, you know, that's one of those things that it's like, it like you would want to change it, but I'm not sure how you would change it, you know. So yeah, that's the best answer I got on that one.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you already told us about your project Saturday.
What's up, Mo Show? Thank you.
Yeah. Um, how has technology and social media impacted in your art, your YouTube, virtual shows, etc., all that?
Um, you know, so and social media to me is it's kind of like the same way, right? Where I feel like it's really given people the ability to establish themselves and develop their own audience, and um, but at the same time, like it's such an uphill battle to see you later, Mosho. Have a good one. Uh, thanks for joining. But it is so hard to establish that audience. It is just an uphill battle, and social media can make it really hard for you to get started. And it you always kind of realize that it's really a lot. It's really about who you know and who you make connections with,
Yeah.
and not so much and sadly not so much about how talented you are. You can be really talented. I see a lot of talented, amazing artists out there that have like 1,000 followers or less than 1,000 followers.
I agree.
And you just think like, how does this
incredible.
happen? Right.
I
And then
can relate to that.
Right, yeah. And the other thing with social media is that, and we kind of see this happening with Instagram right now, right, where you know, they started out as this with this goal in mind, and they got bought by Facebook, and now, you know, you can make the argument that that goal has changed, and we see interface changes happening that are making, you know, our fans, you know, people who follow us on Instagram, it's making them mad and making them not want to use the app. And of course, Instagram is getting involved in some lawsuits and stuff like that. So there's things that like the social media platforms, they do or they get involved in that we can't control, and then suddenly we lose this avenue, right? And so you're constantly having to think about, like, all of a sudden it's like, well, now I got to go learn TikTok, you know, now I have to start from scratch and build an audience from scratch all over again. And so that really sucks.
It does.
And the other thing that, you know, that I'm learning is that it's not enough to just be talented or to be a great artist. When you're on Instagram, like, we've had to learn how to use stories effectively. We've had to learn how to use hashtags effectively, when to post, when's the right time to post. And now I'm struggling with how to figure out how to do freaking reels, you know, which I was, you know, like, I was a cranky old man about it. I was just like, I don't like change, you know, like, but you know, that's, you know, you know that Instagram is always prioritizing their latest toy. So you have to learn it, you know.
Keep updating. Yes.
So yeah, you have to keep updating, and you have to, it's not enough to just be good at your actual craft, you know. So
exactly. Yeah. Okay. What media? Well, we know you use your iPad and Procreate, right?
Yep.
And before Procreate, what media did you use to paint?
Before Procreate, I was using I call it a Wacom tablet. I know that it's technically pronounced Wacom, but I refuse. But I was using that tablet. But before that, like, my training is actually physical medium, so it's and it was I really love watercolor, and you can still see that in my digital art too. I use a lot of watercolor brushes. But yeah, it was just watercolor and sometimes oil. Not a big fan of oil, but that was really kind of my foundation is all traditional medium. So drawing, painting.
And you still work on traditional media?
I don't. I don't have the space for it. Those, you know, all those watercolor pieces of art, you know, they need, you know, nice flat storage, and also it's also really expensive. It's really expensive to be an artist.
It is.
But that's why I really like Procreate, because when I bought Procreate, what's up, Gingerbread? Hey, Laz. When I bought Procreate, they were $4.99, and they have never charged me for any of their upgrades or anything. And now their app is so
It is.
incredible now.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what it's able to accomplish. And for me, like I look at, like, you know, when I was using a Wacom tablet, I was using Coral Painter, which would come as part of that large bulk price for a tablet,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
thankfully. But you know, Coral Painter is not cheap, and Adobe Photoshop, you know, like the entire Adobe suite, like that's like a monthly thing that you have to pay to have access to that. And so there are so many artists that they don't have the money for that, you know. And so I feel like you really cut
Absurd.
a lot of people off from being able to create when you set up these, like, it's almost like paywalls in real life, you know. It's like you're not like, I can't make art over here because I can't afford to. And so that's what I really like about Procreate, is that the app is now they've gone up. It's $9.99, but you know, when you look at like the prices of like Photoshop and Coral Painter, when you're talking about hundreds of dollars or a monthly subscription, I mean, I don't know. I'm just super thankful for Procreate, and I'm glad that they have, you know, refused to go up on their prices. And
I agree.
you know, yeah.
I totally agree with you. Okay, what's the importance of cats and animals, other animals in your art? That's really obvious, but still.
Um, well, and what's funny is that, like, so I don't know. It kind of makes me feel like when people ask me, you know, why do you keep going to Japan all the time? You know, I love flying there. But I love that country. And so with cats, it's just like, I don't know, man. I just love cats. But I've always been really a big cat lover. I remember, like, when I was a kid, we had a neighbor, and she had a cat that had given birth to kittens under her house, and she didn't want anything to do with them, but she wasn't going to touch them either. She was just going to leave them be. But once I found out they were there, I was like, I have to crawl under this lady's house and see these kittens, you know? And I remember telling the principal once when I was like 5 or 6 that I didn't even try to make up an excuse like I didn't feel good. It was just, I want to go home because I have to go home and play with my cats, you know?
Of course.
And so it's just always, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why it's specifically cats for me, but it always has been. And it's not anything against dogs. You know, people think that, you know, like, oh, you don't like dogs. It's funny because I think there's this like dogs versus cats thing, you know? And so people
Totally.
hear that like I just paint cats mostly, and they're like, oh, you must hate dogs. And I'm like, I don't hate
Not
dogs.
at all. Not
like,
at all.
I'll paint a dog.
And you
But
find people that are dog lovers and hate cats.
right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And
we don't
I
do
think
that.
I
It's
must
just like we love our animals. Yeah.
right, yeah. I must really love cats a lot because before COVID, you know, because painting cats is not my 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 is doing a digital interface design for an airline, and so I have a cubicle in corporate America land, and it's just covered in cat stuff. And I was on a team with 4 other designers, and 3 of them all had dogs. And so then we got a new teammate, and they're like, "Oh, finally, we'll have you outnumbered." And I'm like, I'm already outnumbered, you guys. Like, I'm the only cat owner on this team. But, like, my cat flair was just, like, out of control, I guess.
I know.
So,
Yeah. What music do you listen while painting?
oh, well, I actually don't listen to a lot of music when I make art. So I have a tendency to, like, overthink when I'm creating. And so to kind of mitigate that, what I like to do is I like to put on true crime podcasts. So I really like
That's
yeah, that's
incredible.
my
An
jam.
incredible podcast.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I love to put on like My Favorite Murder or Last
Yes.
Podcast on the Left, or recently I binged a docu-series on Heaven's Gate that was on HBO, but I just listened to it, you know. So like my brain is just like tuning into all this stuff,
Yep.
you know, while
Yeah,
my
podcast.
right half of my brain is just like blah 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 blah, you know, just painting
Exactly.
away, and it
Yeah,
tends
podcasts
to
are
go a
great
lot
for
easier.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree totally. How has your art changed over time? Have you noticed some changes, or maybe in the
Well,
style, splatters that you didn't use
yeah, so
before?
I've yeah, I've definitely gotten more color. So I went through a whole like black and white sketching phase there for a little bit. And so I've definitely brought in more color, and because at first, you know, like being scribbly, and that was where that whole like ratchet art style kind of started to develop. And I didn't really know when I started Project Saturday, I didn't really know how that was going to look when I took that like messy, unpolished aesthetic and pulled it into color and paint. And so I've just been working on refining that. And I recently went back and looked at a drawing I had done of Grumpy Cat, like way back, I think even before Project Saturday. And then I painted Grumpy Cat one more time when they passed away. And, you know, you just seeing the difference there, you know, it's just crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna look
Yeah.
for that and see. Your favorite artwork? Your favorite
Like,
piece of art? Maybe your favorite painting?
like of another artist or one that
No,
I've done?
yours.
Recently I did this one cat, Darcy, in space. Like, I'm really all about like cats in space, outer space right now. I don't know why, but that's my jam. And here lately when I've been painting people's cats, like I like to put them in outer space. And so that one I was just
Darcy.
really
Okay.
like, that was one of the few paintings that I turned around and I thought, holy crap, not only did I do that, but I did it in 4 hours. And so that was the insane part to me, was that sometimes I can just get in the zone and really turn out not just a painting, but like a really good painting. And I could probably pull it up, but you can also find it on my Instagram.
Okay.
It
There is beautiful.
Yeah.
You do just
so that one was
such
really
beautiful
crazy.
art. Yeah, you're so talented, Wisman. Okay. Do you do any kind of research? I mean, of course, you research the character that you're going to paint, but something else like this for that space cat. Do you research images, like reference images and stuff like that?
I really should. I should really get better at that. There are some times where, like, if I think that I want like a fall background or something, you know, I'll go and look at like some images of leaves or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. References.
I actually have been meaning to go and look at like actual like starscapes and stuff, so that I could get like, I don't know, just some more like ready to grab mental images out of my brain and be like, yeah, let's recreate that, but with splats, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, like whenever I'm getting ready to someone's cat, like I will go stalk Instagram account, grab all the photos that I like. And sometimes it's really hard to pick one. But yeah. And then I'll also make sure that like I understand, like, because on the live stream I tend to paint cats that have special needs, or there's something special about them.
Exactly.
Like they might have like I painted Smush, right? And you know, Smush kind of has like a poop, like a signature nose.
Beautiful.
So I tend to highlight cats that are special in some way.
Exactly.
And so it is important for those to make sure that that I understand, like, you know, what happened to this cat, you know, to, you know, were they born like this? Is this something that happened to them that caused them? Like Rocky on Wheels is a great example. You know, I painted Rocky on Wheels, and you know, and learning about Rocky and how you know, that happened because of an incident when he was a kitten. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't actually born that way. And so, you know, learning those little things about the cats I'm going to be painting is pretty important.
It is very important. Do you have a dream project besides?
Do I have what?
A dream project, like a, you know, like a goal or something like that?
Hold up.
Okay, we're slow.
Sorry.
And we're back. A dream
Sorry.
project, like something that you would like to do eventually. Like for me, for example, I like to create, maybe have a shelter for black cats
Mm,
eventually, because black cats are the last adopted ones, and people have these things about black cats.
right, right,
And
right.
I'd like to have a maybe a shelter for senior cats where they can live forever there, and have veterinary care and all that. So that would be
Right,
my dream project for some time. Maybe a cat cafe, everything included,
right.
something like that, and that
Yeah.
I can help out. And what would be your dream project if you had one?
Well, I would really like to uh get all of the cat paintings from Project Catterday into a book.
That would
And
be a great
maybe,
idea.
yeah, and find a way to partner with, like, I partnered with Smush Official quite a few times, to raise money for Black Lives Matter, for uh, we did one with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Anyways, and I'm getting ready to do another one with her for the Fight for Cats cause and the whole meat trade industry. So finding ways to like partner, and help raise funds for those causes, I think would be
Your
a
dream
really
project.
good goal to have.
And
Yeah.
that would be great. Yes.
Mm.
And okay, you can tell us, please, about your animal companions.
Well, he left. But
No more treats. No
yeah.
more
Well,
treats.
I was just like, look, dude, they're here. They're just kind of like, you have to stick around for them, for more of them. Um, but uh, but yeah, so his name is Dog, and that's just spelling dog. So his name is literally dog. You just spell it. He also goes by
Dog.
OG son because he's an old man. He's 10 years old. He is a very cranky cat. He's very cute, but he's very cranky. He doesn't like to be around other cats. So sadly, we are a solo cat apartment right now. So but he's cute and lovable in his own way. So he's lucky. So we just so yeah. But we've tried a few times to have get him a friend. He does not want friends.
Not at all.
So no,
Yeah,
no, yeah.
not at all.
So
There are cats that just don't, I mean, they like to be just by themselves and just one. That's it. Only cats.
yeah,
It's true.
yeah, that is the way he is. He used to not really seem to miss me much whenever I would travel, but the last time I went to Japan, I was gone for 2.5, 3 weeks, and when I opened up the door, he was just like, so
Yay,
so I was
treats.
just like, oh, you do love me. Yeah, he was just like, bitch,
He
where
was
the
like,
treats
why did you
at?
bring me from Japan? And he's
Yep.
souvenirs. And okay, our last question for the day is your favorite famous cat, real or fiction, and why do you like that cat?
Oh, my favorite cat ever is a cat called Tama. And Tama was a train station master cat,
Yeah, I
out of
saw
this,
that one.
yes,
It
out
is,
of
yes.
Japan, out of a super small town in Japan. And I had the amazing opportunity to go out there and give a copy of the painting I had done of Tama to her owners.
Yeah.
So Tama started out as just a cat at this newsstand that was at a train station, and the train station was like the last stop for uh, I can't remember the name of the line, but it's in Wakayama prefecture. Anyways, but it's like a super small town, and the train line was kind of like in the it was like dying basically, and like people were really, really worried that this train line was going to go away.
Yeah, I read the story.
And somehow this cat, this newsstand cat, becomes like this train station master, and the word starts to get around, and it wears this cute hat. I don't know how cats put up with wearing hats. I can't get my cat to even wear
Me
like the
neither.
reindeer antlers, like just no way. But And so
It's true.
everyone started flocking to this train station to meet this cat, and it brought in like 100 million yen or something like that to this train line into this town, and it revitalized that whole area. Um, and now they have Nitama, who's the train station master cat, which literally means Tama too. And I was able to meet Tama too. Also, that was really cool. But yeah, that's probably my all-time favorite cat.
Yeah, that would be too.
And
Yeah.
behind the train station, you can see that cat was actually enshrined as a goddess and had a funeral where like 2,000 to 3,000 people attended. It was really crazy because she was just seen as really a savior for that train line in that
Exactly.
town.
And the train
Yeah.
is beautiful. What they did with the
The
train.
train is so cool. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
it was so awesome. Now there's 3 different trains you can get on, and one of them is the cat train. And of course, I had to get on the
Of
cat
course,
train.
yeah.
But it was so cute inside. And then when you went to the cafe, there's like little cat-shaped pancakes. I mean, whatever cat stuff you can bring to it, I'm here for it. But yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, Tama is my all-time favorite cat.
Yeah, mine too. Well, thank you so, so much, Wisban, for being here and for accepting
Yeah,
this
of
crazy
course, this was
invitation.
fun.
Uh, I mean, the objective of these lives is just that people should, I think they should know the artist that's behind her, just all the images. And
Yeah.
it's just fun to know these, how, like the thinking progress of your paintings, why do you do what you do, and all that is just fantastic, I think. So we'll be sharing these lives all Saturdays, mostly, hopefully, with cat artists and all animal artists. So thank you so much for joining me, and that's it. Thank you,
All right.
Wisbang. Wish
All
you
right. See you later,
have a great
guys. Happy
day. Thank you
Saturday.
so so much. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.